Good afternoon, everyone. Am I visible and audible to all of you? You will have to make use of the chat box because you will not be able to unmute yourself. Good afternoon. So I request all of you to make use of the chat box and tell me if I am clearly visible and audible to all of you. Please go ahead. Yes, well done. Yes, exactly. So welcome to the content writing workshop by Henryharvin Education. My name is Vandana Saxena. It's being displayed. And I will be taking you through this one hour workshop. So before we start, we will start the session at 1 p.m. as suggested. It's clearly written on the, we will start it at 1 p.m. as suggested. So before that, I think we can get to know each other. I would request all of you to make use of the chat box and write, because this is a writing workshop. So all of you are required to write something. You are here to learn writing. So without writing, you will not be able to learn writing. So let's just start with an introduction round. What you have to do is that you have to write your introduction in the chat box. What you do, what is your professional qualification, and what exactly brings you to this content writing workshop? What do you want to learn in this content writing workshop? Right, so you have to write somewhere around 5 to 7 lines, and I will read out whatever you have written. Ensure that you write it grammatically correct, because if you have reached here, I assume all of you are aspiring writers, right? So it's important and it's imperative that you make use of the chat box and write grammatically correct content. Ma'am, your voice is not clear. Is it for other people also, or is it for you only? Meethi, I mean, my voice, I guess it's clear. You have to do something with your network. So I'll check with Henryharvin. Can you tell me if my voice is clear to you? It is clear. It is clear to everyone. So maybe you have a network issue. So you can fix your network issue, or maybe leave the meeting and come back again, right? Or join again. So you can do that. So this is the content writing session by Henryharvin Education. So we are going to learn about the nitty-gritties of writing in 1 hour, how to write digital content. We will talk about that. So I have asked all of you to please write your introduction in the chat box. Write what you do, your educational qualification, and what brings you here today. What do you want to learn in content writing today? So I will read your introductions out. Meanwhile, I will share my introduction. I will tell you who am I. Anybody who already knows me, get to the chat box. Right, anybody who already knows me, any of my friends who are there, any of my fellow bloggers who are there, any of my fellow writers who are there already, because I see a lot of my friends also join my demo sessions to know that okay, kuch naya to nahi sikha rahi hai. So it's something like that. So my old students also join the demo sessions. All right, so I'll just clearly quickly introduce myself. By discipline, I'm an HR professional, content writer, and digital marketer. I have been working in the corporate world for past 22 years. Over these years, I have worked with industries like credit management, retail, telecom, education, and a PR agency. So I have worked with all these companies all these industries over the years. Writing started with my first professional assignment when I started my career as an HR professional in operations, and my first professional assignment was to write or draft an offer letter. And then it started with appointment letters, writing confidentiality agreements. Since my writing skills were good, I was moved to almost all the departments. I have worked with marketing, sales, accounts, and everything, because my writing skills were good, and I have drafted or created the content for the marketing team, created the content for the liaison for the accounts team with the client, for the communication, and that is what I have done so far. By passion, I'm a creative writer. My content is being widely published on internet. So from platforms like Asian Literary Society to She the People TV, Women's Web, my content is being widely published. If you want to know more about me, you can go to Google and type Vandana Saxena writer. You will find me easily. I'm searchable on Google, right? Now, coming on to the participants, I wonder nobody has yet written the introduction. Okay, so here comes from Chetna. I'm a student. I'm passionate about psychology. I have many hobbies. One of them is writing. I'm here to explore this field furthermore. All right, we'll help you with that, Chetna. What exactly you want to learn in content writing? right? What exactly you want to learn in content writing? Get to the chat boxes, everyone. Yes. Do not write just one. We can see your name. When you are writing the chat box, I can see your name. Do not write your name, repeat your name. It's just that you have to tell what you do, what exactly brings you to this content writing course. To that. Get to the chat boxes, everyone. I will allow you some minutes to creative content writing. These are two different things. Content writing and creative writing are precisely two different things. You cannot mix up content with creative. No, not at all. They are two different niches. They are two different. Creative is the informal form of writing, whereas content is not the informal form of writing. Content writing is actually the formal form of writing. So no, so creative content writing, you should also join. You should be here, but then you should also join a creative writing workshop. I am Amol Agase. I'm assistant professor of English. Okay, yes, sir. I work. Okay, I'm into BPN domain, carrying 4.5 years into this field. In this journey, I have worked like content writing, email writing process, even content writing daily life. There is huge value in the market. So if I get any skills related to this, something I learn, definitely you will learn. But then, okay, so what about others? I have so many participants, over, the number of participants is really huge, but I have only seen 3 people making use of the chat box. All of you can make use of the chat box fast. I'm a student of KIIT School of Law. Okay, I'm here to learn things. How can I innovate ideas which I can write? I'm a homemaker and I want to restart my career through content writing as a freelancer. Well done. All right, go on. Keep going. We still have 3 minutes to go. We'll start, exactly at 1. All right, an HR professional working with IT MNC with a passion for writing, MBA. Okay, let me just see. MBA by qualification, I want to explore monetizing content writing and learn about content for employer branding, product marketing. And undergrad in commerce as of love sports, love writing, often termed as by teachers as an inquisitive student. I am eyeing for an MBA. I guess this will help me as digital is go to field, can't stay a step behind the generation. All right. I want to know how I can use content writing to earn. I am doing my undergraduate in English from BHU. I am a literature student. I wish to do internship in content writing. I hope I would get help regarding content writing and marketing field. Yes, indeed you will. So everyone, please get to the chat boxes. I don't see many people. If you want, you can keep your videos on, but you will not be able to unmute yourself. So that, but you have to make use of the chat box. You are free to ask me as many questions as you want in the chat box, right? So these are of as I go along, or as we go along, you're free to ask as many questions in the chat box and I will try to answer each one of them. So yes, only these people are making use of the chat box. Let me just see. I have already spoke with Henryharvin team regarding this, but finally today I am in. Even I want to brush up some different skills rather than daily working in my profession. And if I have another skill where I can contribute as much as I can. Okay, I am a student. I'm pursuing engineering. I have many hobbies, singing, dancing, and one of them is writing. Okay, all right. It's great to pursue your hobbies. All right. So we still have 1 minute to go. I can take up one more introduction if you want to. Just make use of the chat box and we will start sharp at 1. So tell me, let's just get to this and fine. We'll start in just 1 minute. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can also put them in the chat box. Okay, so I am Sandeep. I am science graduate in chemistry. Initially was working with the HDFC Bank and was doing some computer courses, left my job in the area as area manager and started my computer institute with the name of this. All right, fine. So, okay. And I like to write, learn and teach, looking this as a business in future. All right, well done. All right, anybody else who wants to? All right, so let's just start. I'll take up a few things, in 1 hour. I will try to cover as much as I can. But what you are supposed to do is you are free to ask questions. If you want me to cover a specific topic, I will definitely help you doing that. All right, so I'm just making this, I'm creating a separate word file for you. And what you can do is that let's just understand. How is this word pronounced? Tell me. How is this word pronounced? Okay, you can get to the chat boxes. This is pronounced as content. It's not pronounced as content. Content is wrong pronunciation. So what is content according to you? If you say content, it means, you know, if you say if you say content, it means you are a happy writer. So if you tell your client, if you have a potential client, and if you tell them that, okay, this is, you know, what am I doing, or this is, I am a content writer, they will say, oh, you are already happy, so we don't need you. So the first step towards writing is that you have to pronounce the right words, you know, speak it right. So the first rule to become a writer is to, you have to speak it right, you have to read it right, and you have to write it right. If you're speaking it wrong, if you're using a lot of slang in your language, in your speech, if you're using grammatically, or if you're speaking grammatically wrong English, you will eventually write the wrong English, because speaking and writing, both of them are controlled by the same side of the brain, technically, right? So if any of the doctors, they can tell me, so somebody said, I am also understanding, or I'm also learning psychology. So reading and writing are the intellect that you have, they are controlled from the same side of the brain. So if you are, you know, speaking it wrong, you will eventually write it wrong. So Palak, you can post your question in the chat box. You have raised hand, I have seen. So I will take last 15 minutes. I will keep up only for the questions. There is a link in that link for the attendance sheet in the chat box posted by Henryharvin Education. You are requested to mark your attendance in the link. So what is content according to you? Get to the chat box. Everyone, Palak, you need to get to the chat box. You will not be, even if you have raised hand, you have to get to the chat box, right? So what is content according to you? Get to the chat boxes, everyone, fast. What is content? What do you feel is content? No one getting to the chat box. Information. Well done. Okay, so content is information. What else? What is content according to you? Just information. So you are reading a blog that, you know, this is how I safeguard my children during the pandemic. What is that? Get to the chat boxes. Those who are watching me on YouTube, you can actually, you know, make use of the chat box, please. Content is basically a proper format to introduce yourself and influence people. No, not really. Convening a message in a proper manner, thoughts expressed by a word. So I just said that I gave you an idea that you are reading a blog which says that this is how I safeguard my children during the pandemic. What are you reading? Is it information? Knowledge, expression, message? Okay, yes, well done. But it is information. It can be knowledge, it can be experience. You are reading a travel blog, you are reading a travel experience. And what else? Information, knowledge, experience, and creativity. So these four, before writing content, let's just understand the requisites of content writing. Requisites of content writing, what exactly you need. Your requisites of content writing. First and foremost, you need a purpose. Why you are writing content? Is it the information that you are sharing? Is it the knowledge you are sharing? Is it the experience, or is it the creativity? You know, you can blend one or two. You can have information combined with knowledge, you can have experience combined with information, but do not blend more than one purpose or more than two purposes in your content. If you write everything in one content, your content becomes confusing. So don't do that. So requisites of content writing. The first requisite of content writing is purpose. What is the next requisite? What do you think is the next requisite? What do you need to write content? Once you have decided the purpose, you are sharing, you know, sharing knowledge about, you know, 5 rules to become a perfect content writer or 5 rules to become a experienced content writer. Keyword बहुत बाद में आता है. नहीं. Language, right? Topic, addressing individual problem. No. Purpose. So you are writing. Now this content writing workshop, you are seeing content on my screen, and this is a content writing workshop. Who are you to be here? Why are you here? Because you want to learn content writing. What is the next thing that you decide for your content? Audience. Exactly. Unless you have a target audience for your content goes for a toss. You're writing a parenting blog, your audience is parents. You're writing you're writing a fitness blog. Who is your target audience? मैं हिंदी इंग्लिश दोनों में communicate कर सकती हूँ. Anybody who doesn't understand Hindi here. So I'm fine to communicate both in English and Hindi. But if anybody is here who doesn't understand Hindi, anybody who doesn't understand Bulilia? So anybody who doesn't understand Hindi here? No, only English. So I think this is an English writing course, so I have to communicate in English, but I will try to communicate in both the languages. So target audience is the second thing that you have to decide. And next, now you have a purpose and you have a target audience. What you are supposed to do with your target audience? What you are supposed to do with your target audience? Right? What you are supposed to do with target audience? You are supposed to communicate. How do you communicate with your target audience? Right? How do you understand? How do you communicate with your target audience? Understand them? No. You are writing content. Who's your reader? You cannot understand. This is impossible. Right? Leads? No, comes later. So first and foremost, you have the first step towards connecting with your target audience is to communicate. So supposedly you are writing a sentence. Let me just give you an example. Supposedly you are writing a how to upkeep, writing an article or a blog that how to upkeep or keep your house germ free. So I'm just writing a sentence here. Just tell me if it is communicating with you. To keep your kitchen germ free, one should remove all the Tupperware from the kitchen and clean it. Now, what do you understand? Get to the chat boxes. It's better. You are here to become writers, so it is better that you write something. Convincing readers to believe in your thoughts. No, it is not about convincing readers to believe in your thought. It is about communicating with your audience and telling them that this is what I mean. So to keep your kitchen germ free, one should remove all the Tupperware from the kitchen and clean it. What did I clean? Tell me. The Tupperware or the kitchen? Get to the chat boxes, everyone. The Tupperware or the kitchen in this sentence? Tupperware. Okay, have I written Tupperware? Okay. Kitchen, Tupperware, it's not clear. This sentence is not communicating because clean it. Clean what? Is it the Tupperware or the kitchen? I am not sure. This kind of content can never communicate with your audience. So how you should write? To keep the kitchen clean, one, okay, remove and to keep the kitchen germ free, remove and clean all the Tupperware regularly. Right? Now, is this sentence communicating? What am I cleaning? What am I cleaning? To keep kitchen germ free, remove and clean all the Tupperware regularly. Am I communicating? Kitchen, to keep the kitchen germ free, remove and clean all the Tupperware regularly. I've made it precise that you have to clean all the Tupperware. Now let's just check out this. I will just make a few changes in the sentence. How to communicate with your audience. To keep your kitchen germ free, you should remove and clean all your Tupperware regularly. Now I have just removed us and thus with you and your. This is called, setting a conversational tone. Now am I communicating? Which sentence I am communicating with the audience? In which sentence I am communicating with the audience? Is it the first one or the second one? Get to the chat boxes. The first one I just made. If you write it here, keep the kitchen germ free, one should remove all the Tupperware from the kitchen and clean it. To keep your kitchen germ free, you should remove and clean all your Tupperware regularly. The second one, this is called, the setting the conversational tone or communicating with your audience. So you should, there are a few things, like I'll just, I will also make, the father adopted the boy and he was happy. Now let's just see one more example. This one is called, this sentence has a missing antecedent. This is called missing antecedent, a grammatical error which does not show on Grammarly. If you are using any grammar check tools, I will tell you about the grammar check tools also, but then this does not, this is not highlighted on Grammarly. No, right? So we will talk about a grammar check tool as well. So the father adopted the boy and he was happy. This is fine. Who is happy? Tell me. The father or the boy? Get to the chat box. This is called sentence fragment. Where have I written that the father was happy? Fragment, not clear who is happy. So here, if you say, and the father was happy. So is this clear now? The father was happy. So the father adopted the boy and the father was happy. The father was, this is clear. But now let me just remove was with felt. What is more powerful? This becomes, felt happy. So you should, the next rule for content writing is that you should remove all your does, the, was, were, am, are, all of that can be removed with powerful verbs. Replace them with powerful verbs. Try to add powerful verbs or complete verb. Do not use, abstract word. They are called the abstract words. Let me just tell you the transition words. So what you have to do is that you have to remove the abstract word, the transition words, and transition words are these, and the, was, were, the words that transform phrases into sentences. If you remove these are only the phrases. These words, these are called the transition words, and they are required to transform the phrases into sentences. So abstract words, transition words, they are a sign of weak writing. So abstract word is in the content writing workshop. I will learn new things about writing. What is thing? This is abstract. This word is abstract. It is not required here. What are the new things? So what you have to do is that you have to write here in the content writing workshop, I will learn some new writing tips. Which one is more powerful, the first one or the second one? Get to the chat boxes. You can mark your attendance. There is a link in the chat box by Henryharvin Education. Please mark your attendance. The second one, right? I will learn some new writing tips, right? So that is important because, writing use less of transition word, use less of abstract words, and your writing becomes powerful. So writing, I think anybody can write. All of us started writing the day we started writing. The day we started our career. Whether you are an engineer, you are a teacher, you are a doctor, writing is a part and parcel of your profile. I mean, you cannot survive without writing. You go to internet. Now let's just discuss. So you go to internet and you want to, best content writing courses online. Now let's just understand here. So obviously Henryharvin is on top. So now let's just understand. See, what are you getting? What is this? What are you getting? What is this called? This is called a search engine result page, let me tell you. But what is this? What is this that you are getting? SEO? No. This is not SEO. No, not at all. Not as yet. We have not reached there. Bhago nahi. Hyperlink? No. Pay attention. What is this? Hyperlink pe kya hai? What is there on the hyperlink? Information? No. Content? It is called, no, we don't have to get that technical yet. You know, SEO and metadata will come later. Let's just understand content, the basic of the content first. Keyword will come later. That is a part of SEO only. But let me just tell you that all of that comes later. What comes first is the this is content. Google cannot, content is the reason search began at the first place. Right, what you find on Google is content. You go to YouTube and you are, you follow Henryharvin's channel and you do this, that, best content writing tutorials, and what do you get? The videos. Video is what? Content. But can you find the videos without written content? No, you cannot. You cannot find the video without written content. No. Can you find the images without written content? No. Can you find the podcast on Spotify without written content? No, not at all. Now the problem is that written content has no shelf life. Every form of content, whether it is video content or it is audio content or image content or any sort of media, cannot survive on internet without the written content. Written content has no shelf life. It will evolve. It has evolved at the onset of the pandemic, but it will evolve over a period of time. So content writing is indeed important when it comes to the digital content creation. So we have understood what is content: information, experiences, knowledge, and creativity. So we have understood this. What do you need? You need a purpose, you need a target audience, and then you need to communicate with your target audience. So communicate. How do you communicate with your target audience? You need the language skills, like I told you in 2 sentences, that how do you use the language skills. Now, what are the things that you require for the language skills? Let me just tell you what are the language skills that you need. Language skills. What are the language skills that you need? Grammar. Because though there is a tool like grammarly.com. So if you go here and you see, just copy and paste your content, it will, set your goals. This is actually a tool which will check the grammar for you. Now, let me just see. So my score is already 98, but the goals are these. I have set my goals and it is already scoring 98. But the problem is that, it may not give you the right suggestion always, right? It may not give you the right suggestions at all times. So these are a few things that you have to, it is showing that this is passive voice, but this is not, right? And it is showing that too many non-content words may indicate wordiness. Since I told you. So this is a problem. When you are using too many transition words, your content becomes wordy, right? And this is, you can just, this will also help you rephrase your sentences. But what you have to do is that you cannot depend on the tool completely, because it will not fix up a few things for you when it comes to grammar. When it comes to language skills, you need grammar. But in grammar, a few things will not be taken care of by Grammarly. Subject, verb, agreement. Now, let me just give you an example for subject, verb, agreement. Writing and content creation is one of the important ingredients to make you a better writer. Writing and consistent content creation is one of the important ingredients to make. This is fine. Is one of the important ingredients to make you. This sentence is fine. Get to the chat boxes, everyone. I would request everyone to get to the chat boxes. And what you have to do is that if you have missed to mark the attendance, please mark it now. There is a link in the chat box. Okay. So this sentence is fine. Yes. And somebody says that this sentence is fine. If you say no, you have to tell me what is wrong in this sentence. If you say that no, this sentence is not fine, you have to tell me that what is wrong in this sentence. This sentence is fine. Okay, let me just see other people as well. So all of you have to participate. Get to the chat boxes. Okay, all right. What else? All right, fine. I'm looking at the chat box. Now the problem is the subject are 2 things: writing and consistent content creation. So how can it be is? It will be are. right? One of the, no, I have written two. This sentence is wrong. But if you put it on Grammarly, it will make it correct. This is wrong, right? So writing and consistent content creation are important ingredients to make you a better writer. This is actually the right sentence, right? This is called subject verb agreement. Now, let me just give you one more example for subject verb agreement. Mira and I have been working on a, I think I said the answer here, on a writing project. So will it be I or me? And if it is I, why? You have to get me tell me in the chat box. Whether it is I or me, why? Me, why? Why? You have to tell me if it is I, why? Why it has to be I? I is fine. I think I said the answer as well. But then subject, exactly. So Mira and I, when you are using this when you are using as a subject, it has to be I and not me. So let me just, who is the senior party here? What will you answer? Me? If it is you, what will you put here? Answer. What will be your answer? Is it I, me, or I or me? I am. Okay. Who is the senior party here? I, me, myself. No. Who's the senior party here? No. It has to be, answer will be I. You know, I am the senior party here. You will never say me is the senior party here, right? Senior party here. So this is something that you have to keep in mind. Now, let's just say the rabbit chase I or me. Get to the chat box. Chased me. Exactly. So this is here, the rabbit is the subject and you are the object. So it, in the place of, you know, use I whenever it is in the place of the subject in the sentence, and use me when it has to be object. I will always be used later. It will always be Mira and I, and it will never be I and Mira, right? An object will always be used earlier. So it will always be me and Mira, and never be Mira and me, right? So hope this will be like this. So subject verb agreement, and then you have the pronoun disagreement. Let me just tell you about the pronoun disagreement a bit now. Every boy must bring their own lunch. Get to the chat boxes. This is right or wrong? Must bring. So you are using bring, you know, his own lunch. You are using the pronoun for boy. So it has to be his and not. Now let me just see it. If it is every child must bring his own lunch, how would you write this one? What will you write here? Own lunch, his, her. Why there? If you're saying there, why? Why it has to be there? Why? Ideally, it is correct as this. But then why you would use there? There is right, I agree. But why? His or her. It's every child. So if it is every child, you should use his or her. Why would you use there? It is plural. No, every child is still singular. Every child is still singular. No. Why would you use a plural pronoun for singular? Every child is still singular. It is not. We don't know the gender because the gender is not specific. So you can write his or her. Why would you not write it like this? You can write it like this. His or her. Why would you not write it like this? Get to the chat box. Why would you write there? No one knows this. Okay, everybody knows that I have to write there, but you do not know why. By verb, no. As a whole, no. No, both the genders. There are only two genders. you have in content industry, you always use there when you are, that gender is not specific. Why? Because it is the wholesome of his, her, and LGBTQ community, right? So it will always be there. That is why it will be there. So do not use, if it is every girl, it has to be her. So pronoun disagreement is important. Other than that, there are too many other things, the use of tense, where to use present perfect, where to use past perfect, where to use the, how to use the consistent tense. You have to keep it consistent. The form of English. How many forms of English are there? How many forms of English are there? There is something called UK English, and there is something called, you have British and American English, UK versus UK. So what is the difference? There is a difference in spelling. So this will be utilize, and this will be utilize. There will be a difference between these, right? Utilize and utilize. Indian English also, no, we don't use Indian English in content writing. So if it is, it will be called aubergine, and in American English, it will be called eggplant. We never write brinjal in content writing. No, brinjal is Indian English. Okay, so you don't use it. So when you write gray, it is written like this. And when you write gray in American, it will be written like this. There are a lot of difference in spellings. So when you write check in British English, it will be written like this. Whereas if you write check in American English, it will be written like this. Right? So all of these we cover in the detailed content writing course. So let me just come back to the detailed content writing course. We cover a lot of other skills when it comes to the form of English, the tenses. Then we have the sentence formations. How many types of sentences are there? If you are, okay, Maitri is asking which is the best for content writing, UK or US. If you are catering to any of the European Asian countries, you should write in UK English because that is prevalent. But if you're catering to any of the American Canadian countries, you should preferably write American English. Depends on your target audience. Like I said, that deciding your target audience is the first thing that you have to do as content writers, because that is the most important thing that you should factor before writing content: your purpose of writing and your target audience. These two things are indeed important. So British and American English, so sentence formation. Let's just talk about a sentence from formation, and then talk about a little bit about punctuations. Right. So now coming on to sentence formation, let's just understand how many words you should write in one sentence. Get to the chat box, everyone. What do you think? A few of you said that I am already a content writer. So how many words you should write in content writing in one sentence? Get to the chat box, please, everyone. 6 to 7 words. Okay. Max 7 to 8 words. Okay. 7 words. So you should keep it consistent. 6 to 7 words, 5 to 8, 10 words, 12 words. You should keep it consistent and not change the word length. How about writing a sentence in 2 words? Is it a good idea? It doesn't depend on the sentence. It depends on your target audience, actually, what they want to read. Is it a good idea? No, not a good idea to write a sentence in 2 words. No. Okay. Let's just understand the sentence length. Let's just work on the sentence length. This is a content writing workshop. I have yet written 5 words. 5 word, just a sec. I'll just, 5 words. Sentences are fine. Writing is easy with 5 words. Do you enjoy reading this write-up? Writing is getting boring. It feels like a stuck record. Should you write like this or not? Get to the chat box, everyone. Do you want to read something like this? No. You don't want to read something like this. Now look at this. Somebody said that you should not write a sentence in 2 words. So let me just see. So welcome to the content writing workshop. Writing is one of my favorite hobbies, as it allows me to express my imagination and connect with my audience. The audience is the reader. It's okay to connect. It's okay to create some music with your writing and connect with your, or maybe writing, and let your reader get lost in the rhythm you created. I'll just pull it up. Why not? Writing is fun. Have I used, this is a sentence in 2 words. This is a sentence in 3 words. You want to read something like this, or do you want to read something like this? Get to the chat box. The first one or the second one? The second one, the latter. The latter you want to read. Why? Because this is here, I am varying the sentence length. So while writing, always vary the sentence length. You should not fix up your writing in 6 to 7 words per sentence. It's okay to write 2 words in 1 sentence, but the sentence length should be varied. It should feel like that you're talking to the reader. It shouldn't feel like that reader, you know, the writing shouldn't get boring. If you're writing like this, it becomes like that you are writing a, you know, essay on cow from kindergarten. No, that's not a great idea to do. So what you have to do is that you have to connect with your audience in all possible ways that you can. So vary the sentence length. So primarily there are 3 types of sentences: simple sentence, you know, simple sentence, compound sentence, compound sentence, and then you have complex sentence. And then there is something called compound complex sentence. So what you have to do is that, you know, ensure that you mix all of them. So what are these sentences we discuss in detail later, or maybe in one of the content writing courses. But what you have to do is, a simple sentence is the one which is the shortest form of sentence. It has 1 verb, 1 independent clause, and 1 subject. Whereas a compound sentence is the one which is which has 2 independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction. The third one is a complex sentence, that is 1 independent clause and 1 subordinating clause is joined by a subordinating conjunction. So there are coordinating conjunctions and there are subordinating conjunctions. So that is something that you have to keep in mind, that you have to vary the sentence length. So you write a mix of all the 3 sentences. Do not mix all of them. Do not write only the simple sentence in your content, or do not write only the compound. Try to use not more than 1 conjunction in your sentence. If you're using more than 1 conjunctions, that means you are precisely using 3 clauses in 1 sentence, which is not a great idea. It's better to have only 2 clauses in 1 sentence and join them with a coordinating or subordinating conjunction that you have to do. Now, let me just, so these are the requisites of content writing. Okay, I've missed out the punctuation. So punctuations play an important role when it comes to content writing. Let's just understand how punctuation plays an important role. So let's see. Let's eat grandma. Right or wrong? Get to the chat box. Let's eat grandma. So this implies that you are going to eat grandma. So commas are powerful. Right? Commas are indeed powerful. So comma are to be placed wherever it is needed. Okay, so there are precisely 7 comma rules that content writers should follow when it comes to language skills. Right now, let's just understand the power of hyphen. $25 bills, right? And comes to $25 bills. Tell me, how many dollar bills are there in the first one and how many dollar bills are there in the second one? I have pay attention to the hyphen. This has obviously $25. This one has obviously $25. Do we have $25 in the next one as well? No. How many dollars are there? How many dollars are there in the second one? $100. See, hyphens are powerful, right? $100. So the hyphens are actually powerful. When it comes to writing, punctuation plays an important role in setting the tone. Okay, so in setting the tone, in setting the language. So punctuations, there are many punctuations starting from quotation marks, apostrophe, where to use the apostrophe, how to use the apostrophe, comma, full stop, where to use exclamation mark, where to use ellipses, and all of that. All of that is important. So that you have to keep in mind while using the punctuation. So right use of punctuation also matters a lot. So somebody is asking me that whether how much order of writing matters in a blog and analysis paper. Any writing matters even in your social media post. If it is grammatically correct, it will put your reader off. So writing matters in any form of writing. If you feel that, okay, blog can be, okay, yes, you can be a little informal when you are writing a blog and you can use a formal tone when you're writing a blog, but it doesn't mean that you have to, do the grammatical errors in writing. So let's just talk about the formal and informal tone. Let's just understand about the formal and informal tone. So did you write this? I didn't know you were a writer. Wow. Did you write this? You are a wonderful writer. What am I saying in the were a wonderful writer? Let me just see. Wonderful writer. Now let me just tell me, what am I saying in the two sentences? What am I saying in the three sentences? Am I saying that you are a good writer? Get to the chat box, say yes. I have answered that question, how much that matters. Yes. So you are indeed a wonderful writer. Am I not saying the same thing in the three sentences? Yes. But you can understand my expression in the three, where I am getting informal and where I am getting right formal, where I am negative, where I am positive. All of that this is called tone in writing, right? So tone can be formal, informal, optimistic, pessimistic, hilarious, witty, sarcasm. You can use sad, happy. You can use as many tones as you want. Grammarly allows you to. Now there's a tool called Grammarly. When you use Grammarly, it will allow you to set your tone. So if you have to set your tone, you can just see here. See, these many tones are there. You can be neutral, you can be confident, you can be joyful, you can be optimistic, friendly, urgent, analytical, respectful, whatever you want to. But you have to keep it consistent through your content. Do not change the tone, right? So that is important that you do. Now coming on to, once it becomes, let's just understand. So these are the language skills. So the second thing is that your content has to be searchable on Google. So if you have written content, if it is not searchable on Google, it will not work for you. So I would request everyone to go to Google and, so write power writing rules, content industry spares by. I'm giving you a keyword. Just, yes, giving you a keyword for power writing rules, content industry swear by. So just type it in Google and see whose content is appearing. What content is appearing? Power writing rules, content industry swears by. Just write it in Google and see. Are you getting the same post? This is actually my content, right? Which is appearing on the post. Say yes or no, in the chat box. Get to the chat boxes, everyone. Get to the chat boxes, everyone. Are you getting the same? Yes, you're getting the same result. Go to Google, and this is called these are called the keywords. Google is a search engine. This is called keyword, and this is a long tail keyword because this has more than 3 words, right? Now let's just see a short tail, and this is the earlier one was a long tail keyword. Kangana Ranaut blog. Go here, right? Kangana Ranaut blog. Get to the chat boxes, everyone. Copy and paste Kangana Ranaut blog. Go here and write. Go to Google. This is called a short tail keyword because this has only 2 to 3 words, right? So get to the chat boxes. Again, whose content is ranking on top? I guess it is again mine. Is it only for me, or so get to the chat boxes, every. Yes, it's yours. So it is again mine. So write another one. Cool hacks to write a catchy headline. Let's see, headline. Again, it has to be mine, I guess. Again, so this is called search engine optimization. Out of 2.73 crore results, you are getting my content on top. And this is not, this is called search engine optimization. You optimize your content for something which is for certain keywords that it should rank on top on Google page, or it should at least rank on the first page, because not many people go to the next, second, third, fourth pages of Google. So that is called searchability. So what you need to do is that you need to search. So searchability happens because the digital content is, or the Google or the digital world is ruled by the content. You have to blend the right keywords in content. How to use it? You have to search a keyword with certain keyword research tools. So what are people searching on Google? Let me just tell you, what are people searching on Google? There is another, awesome tool like Answer the Public. And you go here and to type, the say content writing, and you set your this to India, maybe what people are searching in India, and then you search it. Okay, this has become Indonesia actually. So I used it for Indonesia. I wanted to do it for India, I guess. So let me just show you that you do it for India, and you search it. You have to write a short tail keyword here, and then you will get what people are searching on Google. One of the most powerful tools for long tail keywords. See, these many keywords are trending. So there are other tools that you have to use. There can be other tools like Keywords Everywhere. You can have a Chrome extension for Keywords Everywhere. If you search anything, you can get Keywords Everywhere Chrome extension, and it will tell you that what keywords are ranking for. See, like it is showing me here on the right hand side. It will also show you that what keywords are ranking. So the keyword research is the most important thing that you have to do. So once you have this keyword research done, you have to blend the keyword into your content. Keep it in the headline, keep it in the perma link, keep it in wherever you can. You have to sprinkle it well in your content, but do not use it more than 2 times every 100 words. You can use related keywords, you can use something else, but then do not use it more than 2-3 times. So readability, searchability, and your content has to be inviting. So all of that you have to do. How do you write inviting content? So let me just tell you that supposedly you are writing a headline. Now, inviting is what? You invite your audience through the headline. Supposedly, you are writing a headline that, you are writing an article for yoga, writing an article about yoga. So, yoga for healthy body and, or let's say for fit body and healthy mind. So this is actually called the headline analyzer. All of you can use it. It is easy to use, right? This is by CoSchedule. There are other headline analyzers. So see, this is 65. Closer to 100 is better. Now try adding some power words here. Awesome yoga tips for amazingly fit body and happy mind. Just, really do this. And let's see the word balance. This is ranking at 79 now. See, I've just added a few words: awesome, tips, fit, happy. I just changed them and it really worked wonders. So your content has to be inviting and catchy. Like I told you, you should always use certain words in your content that are inviting and catchy. And that is something, that is how you write the content. So this is, I'm just presenting it here. So this is what you do after, all of that. We cover it in detail in our detailed content writing course. So I have covered the requisites of content writing in detail. So what you should know is the purpose, target audience, how to communicate, how to, the language skills, your content should be readable, searchable, inviting and catchy. What are the possibilities for content writers in the industry? There are unending possibilities for you because the world is digital, right? So there are no two ways about it that the world is getting digital. Even the marketing has become digital. When it comes to, I've come across many people who tell me that, okay, we are the digital marketers, so do we need to learn content? What do you market in the digital world? Do you not market content? You go to Amazon, what do you see? Is it not content, the image and the text? Right? You go to digital market. In the digital world, you only market content. So obviously digital marketing and content writing go hand in hand. So you can, the content writing course can also help you develop your creative thinking, problem solving abilities and whatnot. I mean, you can work with any of the companies. You can become a published author, you can become a famous or maybe an influential blogger, a post writer, digital, you can be a freelance content writer, and you can work with a PR agency, you can work with a newsroom, you can work with a any of the media companies, because it's all about content. You can become a digital influencer, copywriter. Every industry has to go with content. So all of that you can do with the content writing detailed course. So these are the modules of the content writing courses: language skills, internet skills. We have business and marketing content, which is of 12 types, where we tell you how to write a social media post, how to write an email, how to write a business proposal, how to write, everything, the SOPs and everything we covered. And what is the content strategy that you should follow. The academic content, where we teach you about the technical and the research writing, and also tell you about how to create the tutorials, or how to create the e-courses, e-learning courses. Then creative writing is also a part of the content writing course, and how to earn online. So all of that we will do. So this is more about, I think we have discussed about British and all of that. So internet skills, these are a lot of things that we covered in the detailed course. And then we also cover the power writing. So if you have any questions, I will be glad to answer. You can get back to the chat boxes, and if you have any questions, you can ask me. I'll give you the program details after this. So you can ask me if you have any questions. I'll be glad to answer all the questions. Can you please suggest some tips for writing research paper? Salary range of a content writer. Kaushal, what do you do? What do you do? If you can tell me, what do you do? If you are sending me direct messages, I will not be able to help you. Please send message to everyone, or send messages to Henryharvin for the commercials. I will not be able to help you here. For commercials, please do not send me any messages for the fees and everything. Please talk to Henryharvin for that. Okay, so Kaushal, salary range of a content writer. What do you do? Let me just ask you, and then I will answer this question. What do you do, Kaushal? You feel short of words. Okay, do we need a formal college degree to be a successful content writer? Any added qualification is an added skill, but yes, you do not need a formal college. I'm a graduated BBA, right? So what do you plan to do? You want to become a content writer? So business, we've graduated bachelor's of business administration. So if you talk about the business administration, you will go for MBA. Can you tell me the salary range of an MBA? Can you tell me that? Can you tell me? It starts from here and it goes up till here. Can you tell me that? No, nobody can tell you. It depends on your caliber and what that quality of content that you are delivering. Right, we'll share the PPT after this session. Okay, so post course we will get job assistant. Yes, you will get job assistance from Henryharvin. They will keep you updated. There is also an internship program with Henryharvin Education. However, you can speak to the relationship manager, and for all these questions I will not be able to answer. Can this help to write a research profile? What can help you write a research proposal? So when you are writing a research proposal, it is imperative that your research work is backed by the authentic data, right? So any research which is not backed by the authentic data is not the right research, right? So it is all right. So it is, no, it depends on college. No, it doesn't depend on college. Even if you have passed out from IIM and if you are not performing well, you will not get the desired salary. No, it is more about your caliber. I have worked in HR all my life and I understand you. Even if you come from the best of the colleges and if your caliber, or if you are not ready to deliver, you will not get the desired salary. So it's more about what you deliver and not what you have studied all your life. Obviously your qualification adds a lot of benefit, but then yes, you should be able to perform according to that qualification, right? For academic content, you should be a subject matter expert. You should understand, because you are trying to teach somebody, right? So for academic content, it is imperative that you become a subject matter expert before writing content. However, now all the subject matter experts are not content writers, and hence they need content writers. So while writing academic content, a lot of content is already given to you. You have to phrase them right, you have to structure them right, and then it gets published. How to become a famous blogger? Blog consistently, start your blog, right? And in education and research niches, blog consistently, make your website, right? So you have to make your website, and you can in content writing detailed course, we also tell you about how to build your own website. During the course, you build your own website and you work on it, and you start your blog within the course, right? And then you have to fill, if you want to get the PPT of the webinar, please fill this form, the Google form, right? How to start writing platforms for beginner? You can start writing from Medium. You know, Medium is a guest blogging site. HuffPost, that is a guest blogging site. There are a lot of guest blogging sites that you can start to that you can leverage to start writing from your social media. You can also build your free website on WordPress.com or Wix or Blogspot, but that requires some kind of assistance. So we teach that in the content writing course as well. How to start? Okay, I started writing a book and I'm falling short of words. What to do? Join a creative writing course, right? So you are suffering from the writer's block. Okay, so join a creative writing course. So that is something. So whenever you are planning to write a book, have it written in your mind first, unless you have your plot ready. So I will ask you, if you have written your plot, always write the plot and then build the story. Do not start writing without a plot, or without choosing your narration, or without choosing the development of your characters, and without choosing the conflict. Do not start writing a book. No, don't do that, because that's the cardinal mistake that a lot of authors do, and then they suffer from the writer's block. After this mode, how much can a person earn monthly as a content writer? This is such a I mean, I will not be able to answer this question, because even after you have completed your any of the professional courses, even if you have completed engineering, you still do not have answer to this question, right? So I think please don't do that. Hello ma'am, Hate Mehta. Hi Hate, your old student. I was willing to attend your demo content writing workshop again. So I attended exact 1 year ago. You taught me content writing course. Thank you Hate for joining in. So as I told you, a few of my old students also joined me, right? So difference between content and creative writing. Content is the formal form of writing, whereas creative writing is the informal form of writing. Content is more about the reader's perspective, whereas creative writing is more about the writer's perspective. While writing creative content, you do not think about your reader. You think about what you imagine, right? Can I make, yeah. So, and another difference in that, in content writing, you keep your language simple and communicate with your audience. Whereas in creative writing, you keep your language flowery and create visuals in the reader's mind. So I belong to teaching background. Can I make my career as a content writer? Indeed, anybody can be a content writer. So it just needs some good writing skills and consistent practice. That is it. Do content writing industry hire freshers who just started writing and are still learning? Yes, they do. They do hire people who have just started writing and they are still learning. They do hire. So now coming back to Henryharvin. So Henryharvin will have these many things. They will have self-paced video. The detailed content writing course will have the self-paced video. It will have assignment and project, certification, life membership of the Writing Academy, and there is an LMS portal where you can access the access a detailed content. There will be monthly boot camps that you can join, right? And unlimited access to the multiple trainers that you have. So you can follow Henryharvin on their social media pages. On YouTube, there are a lot of demo sessions that keep happening. So you can follow, subscribe to their channel, and watch for other courses as well. So you can join them on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. What is a boot camp? Boot camp is actually the brush up sessions that you call, right? It has, 1 year of validity, right? So upcoming batches are starting from 7th August, 12th August, and 15th August. So if you wish to join the content writing course by Henryharvin Education, please call 9015266266, right? It has to be the WhatsApp number is 98919533953. Please, even if you get my number from internet, please do not call me. I will not be able to help you on anything. If it is Henryharvin, you have to please call all the course related information is available at 901526 and 266 and 98919533953. Please do not call me, because I will not be able to help you. My job is to deliver the training and share the knowledge with you, and that is what I do here. Okay, so that is what you are also supposed to do. Okay, that you don't call me, right? So this is a 32 hours live training session, 12 boot camp sessions. They will be monthly, and the membership of Henryharvin Writing Academy, that this is what all you get after the content writing course. So engaging assignments and projects. So 1 to 6 month internship opportunity. Henryharvin also provides the internship opportunity to all its students. So I'm still here to answer any more questions. We still have 4 minutes to go. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. Difference between content writing and copywriting. Copywriting is actually a part of content writing. Copywriting is any content which is written to promote a brand or sell its services or products. So any kind of billboard, social media post, any kind of content that is trying to sell something is called copywriting, right? To begin with, job is better or freelancing, your choice. I mean, where you perform well. So it is entirely up to you, right? The fee of the course is this. No, I don't know. You have to call up the relationship manager. I've given you the numbers, right? I have given you the numbers. Please call up these numbers, 9015266266 and 98919533953. Please call this. I will not be able to answer any of these questions, right? So the batches are scheduled on weekdays and on weekends. So you can choose any batches that you want to. Ma'am, how do you help us to become a content writer? I make you writers. I don't help you become a writer. You know, my job is to hear more, create more writers. So ma'am, I want to learn copywriting. You teach me copywriting. I think I taught you Heth. So Heth is my student. So Heth, do you want to write, in the chat box, the recommendation that, what you have learned in the course? If you can do that for me, please. After the completion of the course, how will I be able to evaluate myself in terms of writing? How will I be? So there will be consistent assignments during the course. So the day one, what you write, and on the last day, what you write, there will be a huge difference between the assignments. And I guarantee that, right? So yes, so there will be a huge difference in what you have written on the day one of your course and and on the last day of your course. So that is what I will help you. So I will not help you become a writer. I will make you writer. So that is what my job is to do. Okay. After the completion. Okay. So there are more questions. Any more questions? I'll be glad to answer. We still have 1 minute to go. Any more questions? I hope all of you enjoyed the course. Anybody? I mean, I would be glad. Do we need laptop? Yes, you can. I mean, obviously it is better that if you work on a laptop, right? The course is right for a beginner. Yes, indeed, it is right for a beginner. Yes, indeed, it is right for a beginner. And we start from the basics and we cover until the detail. To learn how much free, I don't know. You need to, that is a wrong question, sorry, but you need to call up on 9015266266. I think this was only the free session that you had. So you cannot have any more freebies here. I think I've shared a lot for free, but yeah. So if you like the session, please share your feedback in the comment box. I'll be glad if you can share. Okay, so I'll stop to share. So somebody is actually, yeah. So thank you again. So I'm here in the chat box. Do we need to purchase the content writing tools like Grammarly, etc.? No. Let me tell you that those who feel that, you can become a content writer by checking your content on Grammarly, no, it doesn't work this way. You have to, there are different rules to become writer, right? You cannot, the tools, it's content writing is not about tools. I do not work on any of the paid tools, let me tell you. Okay. But my content is still searchable on internet easily, right? And it is readable also. I do not work on any of the paid tools. So please know, the content writing or digital marketing is not about tools. It is more about your passion towards writing and the kind of or the quality of content that you create. So it is about that. So yes, I hope all of you enjoyed the session. So please get to the chat boxes and share your feedback. It was a great session. It was a great engaging audience, and it was great for me to be here. All right. So I would request. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, so thank you for everyone for joining in. So if you still have any questions, I can take it for next 2 minutes maybe. All right. So we will wrap it up here. So thank you everyone for joining in, and stay tuned to the YouTube channel, or you can, for the course related query, you can call 9015266266 and 9891953953. Right. So I hope to see you in the upcoming content writing batch. Thank you, everyone.